there, folks, and welcome to another episode of Michael's Backyard Marina. I don't know why I'm doing this. Well, I do know why I'm doing this. I have a problem. But it's not a big problem, because if it makes you happy, is it really a problem? No, absolutely not. You do you, and you be happy in your own skin, and you do things that make you happy, and you will have a happier life, I'll guarantee. Now, what we got going on today, Facebook Marketplace. My goodness, I need to just stop. But it has been a while. It has been months since I drug something home. But, and this one's a unique one. No, it's not unique at all. It's a boat. Yep, it's a boat. But it was, what's unique about it or interesting about it to me is it said boat, $300. You look at the description, it said no paperwork, no title, no nothing. Boat trailer, interior stripped of the boat, has the outboard, it said, which the outboard is the outdrive, the Mercruiser outdrive. Now, the reason I picked this one, there again, $300. Just gonna say it right there, $300 is what they were asking. I thought, well, it's over 100 miles away from me, and I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll offer a little less. So I offered them 150, and they came back with 200 bucks. I'm like, done. Can I pick it up today? Sure can. So I can be on the road in a half an hour. And here I am. I've got, let's see, what time is it? I got about an hour and 17 minutes to go. But it has the main reason I'm picking this up is I can pick this whole thing up for $200. I can sell the trailer for $200. Now, I'm going to take the boat to the dump? Maybe. It's like I said, it's gutted. It's an older fiberglass boat. Usually they're pretty much toast. But, and I have no idea what make or model this is. None whatsoever. But I do know it has a Mercruiser 165 horsepower inline 6-cylinder. And I have recently just fell in love with that engine. Mainly because of the Cobalt. The Mr. and Mrs. Smith sold me the Cobalt here last year, and you've seen it on the river here recently. Just the engine is just incredibly neat. It's incredibly heavy, but it's got a lot of torque, and it's got a lot of, I would just call it nostalgia. You know, to me it does. This boat looks like, I'm going to guess from the mid-70s to maybe early 70s, somewhere in the 70s. Go ahead and place your comments down below while you're watching this, and maybe later on in the video, I will. I'll discover what it is, and I'll let you know what it is. So we got about, like I said, we're going to a place, a town called Prophetstown, Illinois, is where I'm picking this one up at. The gentleman told me it's in his backyard. And you have to pull it out from his backyard. I'm like, okay, we're in the old Jeep Liberty. We got the old 4x4 working and functioning like it should. And we'll hook onto it and drag it home. I did throw a whole bunch of tools in the back. I've got my toolboxes. I got my Ugga-Duggas. I got grease. I got brake cleaner. I got rags. I got jacks. I don't have a spare tire. He said the tire holds air. But I do have my JF Igwo combination jump pack air pump. So between here and there and in between, there's plenty of stores and stuff. I'm getting started early enough in the day. But when I say early enough in the day, it's 5:42 in the evening. I also got my magnetic brake lights, tail lights to hook onto it, because in case something happens, I can be in it. If I get stuck doing something after dark. The only thing I didn't bring with me is a light, but I can stop and get one of those somewhere. Anyway, let's just call it another boat rescue. For lack of better terms, and we'll pick it up, do a quick walk around, and the guy told me last time he messed with it, it turned over. The engine turned over, it wasn't stuck. Could I be getting a pig and a poke here? You betcha. One thing I know for sure is I can get my money back out of it. Even if it's just got a good carburetor, good intake man, it's got good parts on it, guaranteed. Has an outdrive on it. That one will be a heavier duty outdrive, most likely, for the 165 horse. Because I think a lot of the Mercruisers on some of the older stuff, they had 120 120 horse, 140 horse type stuff. And don't quote me on this, but then they had some stuff that was actually 165 and higher, 165 to 220. I don't know, 225. I'm making it up a little bit. I'm trying to go off of memory, which, you know, not very good. Sorry about the red face and wild hair this morning. Believe it or not, I was up early. My son and I hit the lake, and we put the old Johnson 99 with a big secret on the water, and you guys will probably see that video coming up soon, or maybe it's already been out. I don't know yet. Depends on where I decide to cut this video off out and where. But I'm excited to get this thing on the road and see what we can come up with for a project for it. You know, it's one of those things. You guys are gonna think, why are you collecting? My wife. Ooh. My wife must really love me. That's all I got to say. What kind of fart car was that? Ooh, that doesn't even sound good. You know, when you hear a lot of noise in the car, you think the car is really going fast, and it's just barely hitting on 3 of the 4 cylinders, I think. But anyway, I told her, she went on a little trip with her sisters recently, and I told her, I promise you won't come home. She goes, how many boats am I going to come home to once I get back home? I said, you'll come home to, I promise you there won't be but one more boat in the yard than there currently is. And she's like, all right. And it took a little bit, and I thought she was going to let it slide. And then she asked a question. She says, well, how many boats do you have now? So, you know, I'm not in the habit of lying, so I told her how many boats I had. And she's like, all right, one more then, that's it. I'm like, yeah, for now, one at a time, every time. But yeah, it was kind of funny. Just thought I'd share that little anecdote with you. Yeah, I've got safety chains also, in case it doesn't have a safety chain on it. I got another coupler. I brought my drill bits, like I said, enough stuff to repack wheel bearings if I need to. There again, is it overkill? You bet. Is it nice to have it and not need it? Absolutely. Because it's better if you need it and don't have it. That's a way bigger problem. And the nice thing is the O'Reillys and the AutoZones and some, you know, these Fleet Farm stores and stuff like that are you know, they're open till 8, 9 at night, and there again, it's a standard 5-lug trailer wheel on their tire. If I run into any trouble, hopefully I can buy one of those. I don't have a 5-lug spare, otherwise it would be in the back of the Jeep here, just for that very reason. But they said the tires hold air, so that's a win. We'll see ya when we pick it up, and we'll do a walk around and just a little discovery as to what we ended up with. Okay, be back after a bit. All right, folks, we made it to the boat. We got the boat pulled about, not even a quarter mile from where I picked it up at. And she's rough on the outside, but I bought it for the 6-cylinder engine. And it is a Rinker built. We'll take a quick walk around here in a minute. That's a Rinker. But first things first, I got my portable trailer lights bolted on. And I'm getting ready to put some air. The tires are actually pretty slack, but they're holding. And they got some age on them. If I make it home, I'll be tickled. I don't have to buy one before I get home. So I got the JF Agwo here. See, this only got 24 pounds of pressure in it. There you go. Nice thing about airing that up is I don't have to be near it or watch it blow up in my face. Looks like I need to put one more zip tie right there to hold that wiring up. And I'm gonna pull my old blanket out here, and I'm gonna put me some better safety chain on there, because that safety chain doesn't quite reach, nor is it nearly heavy enough to handle this boat if it was to break loose. So we're gonna go ahead and do a little bolting onto that as well. Well, it's a very much less than ideal situation here. I should have brought my other safety chain. This is a 4-foot chain, which means it's only 2 foot or 4 foot long total, which ain't enough to get there. So I kind of used it to kind of because the other chains that were on it weren't long enough to get there. So there's an offering there is what I'm saying. It's not perfect by any stretch. Also put another chain around that. I realized I left without any ratchet straps. But this thing will ride pretty good. It's a heavy boat. And it's sitting on some pretty good bunks. It's got some guideposts here that are pretty sturdy. So she shouldn't slide off sideways or anything. But I have no idea what year it is yet. And there's an engine hidden down underneath all this mess. Looks like there's a gas tank. Good, I need a core for battery return. And that's worth $12 already. It's already making me money. Not really. But this is a heavy duty trailer. This thing's got some, I mean, that's like a 5-inch channel that's made out of. So it's not a light duty trailer. It's not rusted out. We've got our lights on it. It's got a stainless prop on it. What size prop is this? That's a stainless, and it's not too bad. That's a 19 pitch. Be a good backup prop for something for sure. But yeah, we got air in the tires. We're gonna take it easy. We're gonna go down the road about 10 miles, maybe. We're running about 50, 55, 60 miles an hour. And we'll pull over and we'll give us a grabbing on the old wheel bearings there, and we'll just see how lubricated they are as to how warm they're gonna get. So let's get on down the road and see what we got. All right, guys, we've gone about 30 miles so far, and I want to do a little wheel bearing check. I did it about 10 miles. Just gonna put my hand on here. Oh, beautiful. Just a little bit of warmth there, that's it. That just lets you know that the bearings are working, but they're not burning up, because I'm getting ready to jump on the interstate. I've been running about 55 and 60 so far, and see how this one's doing. Perfect. I mean, it's just barely warm at all. So that means she ain't burned up, and I think she'll make me home. Biggest worry I've got is these old tires. There are some pretty old tires, but this thing is pulling like an absolute dream. And you know what's bad is when you get to sit in the car for a little while and think about what you just purchased and what you might do with it. It gets a little scary up in this old brain here, I'll tell you that right now. So I've got some ideas and some thoughts of what I may do with this thing, but it's gonna be pretty interesting. Sorry, it's dark in here, ain't it? Bam, there we go. But I got some ideas. If I can get this thing to run, if it turns over and it has compression, I will make it run. No, don't mark my words on that one. But it's gonna be pretty cool. I think I got a good plan for it, and I should be able to make it happen this year. All this stuff, you know, the universe starts to align, and Facebook Marketplace talks to me and says, Michael, do this. Build it, it will float. All right, we're gonna head on home. We got about another, what's it say here, 88 miles to go. Let's hopefully make it home safe. All right, guys and gals, it's the next morning. Sorry about the disheveled look. I didn't hop in the shower this morning. I got home at 11 last night, hopped in the shower, went to bed. It was a long day from being up from, let's say 6 a.m., 5 a.m. I think it was, to 11 last night, dragging this Rinker. Now, I still don't know the year of this boat, but it pulled like a dream. I mean, this trailer is fantastically heavy duty. It didn't feel like it put a lot of tongue weight on the boat. I mean, this thing is, as far as distribution and weight, set up perfect. I've got plans for this trailer. The boat, I feel, is absolute junk, not worth messing with, but I've now uncovered why I bought it. This is the inline 6 165 horse Mercruiser. According to the serial number, it's between a 70 and a 78. I don't have any way of narrowing it down better than that. I wish I did. If somebody knows a website that narrows it down by serial number to a specific year, that would be awesome. But yeah, this one's looking pretty good, clean wise. So all I'm gonna do, this boat, I've got a big cover right there that's looks like the top of one of them trailer covers or something. That's gonna be the cover that protects it for a while till I get this pulled out of the boat. But we're going to get this running in the boat. Not this video, I'm sorry to say that, but we're not going to get it running inside this video. But mark my words, coming up soon, because I've got big plans for this engine. When I was driving home last night, it made me think a lot about what do I want to do with this? What should I be doing with it? And I've got a fantastic idea for this engine, outdrive, and trailer. And the reason I say that is the trailer pulled really well. There is minimal amount of rust on it. It has a 165, you know, it says horsepower 165 Mercruiser outdrive here, but it's a more modern, let's say call it newer, which has the stainless lines going in from underneath, all stainless stuff, stainless prop. It might be worth going through this one, and I might actually see if I can get work with SCI Marine and see if they'll help me rebuild, do a complete rebuild on this. Bring it back with seals, gears, you know, the whole 9 yards, whatever it needs. There's a shot from the other side. But everything's intact here. Carburetor, I mean, it's all there. The steering works, the throttle works. It's all complete as far as all the mechanics that I need. Now here's my thoughts. And I've done some measuring, because this does sit up a little tall on the boat, on the trailer, but that's fine. I don't have a problem with that at all. I didn't weigh this one last night. I was going to pull it across the scale, but I was so tired I forgot to take a left to go check it, and I went straight home. But the trailer has brakes, like a surge brake thing up at the front. I'm not going to use that. Well, I probably will. Once I get the boat off the trailer, I might do a tongue extension thing for this guy. But let me show you what I'm planning on doing with it. Now you guys go ahead and leave comments. You might think I'm crazy, but I think this is going to be a pretty cool option to bring two worlds together. Because keep in mind, that Rinker built, the Rinker builts, Cobalts, you know, there's some of those boats that were, you know, more top of the line type stuff, had better stuff in it, better, let's say, peripherals, if you will. The Mercruiser engine is a Mercruiser engine. They didn't build them up or down for different manufacturers. They just produced one engine. Now, what I've got here, if you guys recognize this guy, I've been sitting on it, and this has a running 4-cylinder in it. It runs really well, actually. But the downside is it has a very old style outdrive. Now, talking with Justin at SCI Marine, he says, well, we could hook you up with some more modern amenities, but you're gonna have to possibly cut a hole a little bit bigger in your boat. I'm down for that. So instead of having him hook me up with too much stuff, I want to see what I can do with that one, because that's got the outdrive I want. It's got the engine I want. This has 120 horse Mercruiser. I would like to have 165 horse in this boat. This boat is not very heavy. This boat, complete as is with trailer, weighs only 2,200 pounds. It is an all aluminum boat, which is, I like that for the weight factor. If I can put another 45 horsepower on this guy and prop it up a little bit, I could get a better top speed, maybe some better economy out of it. Just to give you an idea of my Cobalt there, I run it on the river, right? And I got 3.7 miles to the gallon. And that's a 22 foot, nope, how long is that boat? That was an 18 foot. That's an 18 footer, I'm sorry. 18 footer, but the boat and trailer weighs over 3,000 pounds. And I mean, over 4,000 pounds, I'm sorry. So that's a heavy boat. The trailer is pretty heavy duty. It is a tandem axle trailer. This one is also a tandem axle trailer with these little bitty tiny tires and tiny fenders. And I get why they did that, so they can, you know, keep things narrow. Nothing's wider than the boat here. So that makes it kind of nice, but I'm not worried about that. That's not one of my concerns. I'd love to have that trailer off the Rinker over there under this boat, have that engine and outdrive on this boat, and I think that's going to be the end game here. So follow along. It's going to take this summer to make it unfold, but my goal by the end of the summer, if I have my way, good Lord willing, and my health hangs in there like it has been, I will have that engine and outdrive in this boat on the Mississippi River, running it and testing it out. That's the big plan for this summer, because I got bigger plans for this boat in a couple summers from now, which is camping, you know, do some 24-hour challenge. 24-hour challenge, big deal. Get up in the morning, get on a boat, get off of it the next morning, 24 hours. I might do it just for a test run, but that's just to see what I need to make a, you know, how do we do it for 5 days? How do we do it for a week? How do we do it for 2 weeks? How do we take this thing and stay on a river for 2 weeks? So this trailer here is not ideal. I mean, it's got a small tongue. It's got a 2-inch ball. It's not what I'd call, it's heavy enough for this boat apparently, but I'd feel much better having this Rinker over here trailer under that boat just because it pulled so well. I mean, honestly, that thing pulled, it's got not a light boat because it is fiberglass, but it pulled like a 2,500 pound boat. It didn't pull like a 3,000, 4,000 pound boat at all. It pulled easy, it handled well, it didn't fish, it didn't do anything. The proportions are right, and I can get that, maintain that when I put that boat on as well. I can also put a longer tongue on it, but we'll completely rebuild that trailer on this channel, mark my words, because that's the trailer and tire size and fenders, and it just has everything I want, and I got it all for $200. So, providing the engine doesn't have a knock in it or something, we'll get it running. We'll heat soak it. We'll run it through several tests. We're gonna do a compression test, obviously. We'll change the oil. We'll make sure the head's good. We're gonna, you know, we're just gonna cycle it a lot, is what I'm saying, and make sure this engine is worthy to pull out and go in old Big Blue over there. Well, let's get busy. I gotta clean this thing up. We gotta get some, I'm gonna vacuum it out first. Then I'm gonna pull it over here on my hill and point it down hills a little bit on the back end, and I'm gonna power wash the back end of it up. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm gonna be crawling around in there, and I don't wanna crawl around in all that nastiness, okay? This does have some neat features. You can tell this was a higher end boat at one time, because look at this stainless. This is a stainless, all welded stainless, polished stainless piece for the swim platform, and it had these little, oh, come on, let go. Had these little, like a fold down ladder here that was pretty nice. And you know, this might need to be repurposed, honestly, and put on the back of that Starcraft, that Islander. Here's another, you know, swim platform piece. I won't be able to use both of them, but I'll be able to use one of them because I have a kicker motor that's on the other. Now the 9.9 with the big secret that I finally got running well, as you've seen, and we'll see in upcoming videos, will be a kicker motor for that boat. That's the whole purpose behind that one now, is to be a good solid kicker. So in case the motor does something weird, I got another, you know, 15 horse motor that can push that boat around, push it around and get me out of harm's way in a matter of minutes. And we'll set that boat up with 2 tanks, so it has the regular fuel tank for the gas engine, and we'll have a 2-stroke tank for the kicker, so it's not underfoot. Plus I've got some ideas on what I want to do on deck design. I've got you guys at the wrong way down there. We go. Ooh. On rear deck design, that boat has black interior. That is, I don't know what's on my face. I don't know who, from a cool look standpoint, sure, black interior. But from on a boat on the water in the sun standpoint, black, that's stupid. It's not smart. It's gonna be hotter than the surface of the sun, and you will give yourself 4th and 5th and 18th degree burns. I know there's no such thing as that, guys. I'm just, you know, exaggerating. All right, let me get you set up here. Let's get some vacuuming, and then we'll get some power washing. It's a nice hot day today. It's supposed to be up almost 90, and we can get this thing dried out, and then I can get the cover over it, and then we're gonna start looking at that engine a little more. But before I mess around with anything, I wanna spray some super clean. You're gonna see some foaming action. I'm gonna spray it down. I'm not gonna use high pressure on the engine, but I will clean the engine up really well, because it's, as far as oil goes and leakage goes and all that fun stuff, the engine is actually really dry for its age. It is really, really dry. So I'm excited to get into this. It's the nice thing is this back cover back here doesn't cover up a lot. I got access to everything. Yeah, but yeah, you can see the interior of the boat is all rotted out. It's just not what it needs to be anymore. I got some of these. It's got 4 of these pole holders in the back here, rod holders. Those are going to come out. Those are staying with me because the rubber part on the inside is toast, but I've got a cure for that too. All right, we're back out here on the old Rinker, Syracuse, Indiana. This is an old boat. Like I said, I don't know the exact year, but I do know that the serial number on the engine is pointing toward a 70 to 77, I believe, somewhere in that range. Our goal here today, and the reason I'm doing this closer to the evening, less bright, you know, I'm underneath the canopy here, but less sunshine down on us, is I'm going to Borescope this thing and see how much Borescope I'll be able to get you guys to see, you know, on the Borescope itself. Low light conditions are going to help a lot from that perspective. So I'm going to get set up here and we're going to climb in and pull some spark plugs. Now I got my handy dandy Borescope here. We're going to see what size spark plugs these have in it. It is the small guys. And I didn't bring an extension. Let's see what I got in my toolbox here. That should get the job done for us. Not overly tight. That's good. Means nobody tightened it until the water ran out. But not too loose to allow water to get in there either. Whoa. That's brand new, never been fired. That's an Autolite 145. Never been fired, but and also there's no rust. Looks like all these have been replaced. So the guy I got it from said he was gonna, you know, get the engine running and never got it running. And I could see that he put brand new spark plugs in every single cylinder. And he didn't over torque them, which was awesome. And let's see, we did pull the dipstick on this and the oil is, whoa, what happened? What happened? Why? Now what I do like about this boat, it would be a fun boat for somebody to restore, but not me. This is not my style of boat, not one I'm interested in. Yeah, all these spark plugs are brand new. You know, I'll probably go ahead and use these spark plugs if they turn out to be the right ones. I'll look it up and see what it's supposed to have in it, what heat range it's supposed to have. But man, those look fantastic. Well, they have to. You can tell there's never been a fire in this cylinder with these spark plugs in it. They're all brand new. Okay. Well, that gives me some positive hope here. Now we did all the little dirt and sediment and stuff we had on this thing. We did power wash this off. I, you know, coated it with that foaming super clean. And with that in mind, everything this way, all the dirt, anything that's in here is pretty darn clean. Let's see what I can do here. On. Don't use this thing crazy often. There it is, Sky Basic. There it is, it shows things in color. Let's just, I don't know, let's start at number 6 back here and see what we see. Everything looks pretty good, no rust. Top of the piston looks pretty darn clean. A couple little oxidation marks on it, but what can you expect? It's been sitting a long time. This cylinder is way down. See if I can get this a little bit of a bend here. I don't know if you guys can see that. I hope you can. But yeah, that looks really good. I'm not seeing anything in there that would be alarming. This one's right up here at the top. There's another one that's way down we go. Boy, this thing should run like a champ. I don't see why we wouldn't have any compression on here, I'll tell you that. That thing's in tip-top shape. Nice. So now that we've done that, I'm going to take some Marvel Mystery Oil and I'm going to put it down each cylinder. Lay these spark plugs up here out of the way. Now this thing, I haven't done anything but power wash it since I've gotten it home, and that's been a couple weeks ago now. Been working on other outboards and other things like that before we get back onto this 6-cylinder. I've got big plans for this engine, the control, and the outdrive. This thing's going to be it's going to be rehomed into another boat I have, and I'm not going to share that secret just yet, but it's coming up soon, and I think it's going to be a great upgrade for one of my boats. All right, give me some Marvel Mystery Oil and put down them cylinder doors. Now I buy the Marvel Mystery Oil by the gallon, then I buy these little, it must be 500 milliliter, I don't know, squirt container, so I can just go right down the hole here and just, and I'm going to be generous with it. And it's okay if it goes by the rings and leaks down into the crankcase, because it won't hurt the crankcase at all. These little containers are nice because I can just, even if I can't get the thing in the hole, it still gets it there. Now you saw what I started with and what I have. That's how much I've put in there. Now, I don't know if I'll be able to turn this over with just the water pump pulley or not. Let's see if it's got enough belt traction. Maybe it probably doesn't. Would be my guess. Nope. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Here we go, here we go. I was able to get the engine to turn over. I just had to pinch the belt down tighter. But the engine's rolling over. Now what I did here is I took that bolt loose and tightened up the belt extremely tight so I could actually roll this engine over. I'm watching the distributor. I pulled the distributor cap off here, and I'm currently watching the rotor roll over to make sure I want to get a couple revolutions out of this. This is going to help work that Marvel Mystery Oil down, up and down the cylinder walls a little bit, so nothing's turning over dry. We did get the battery hooked up. The starter made one clicky noise while I had the camera off. So we're just going to check a couple things out, make sure this battery's okay. 12.8 volts. Let's see if we got anything coming into the 12.8 to the starter. That's good news. So now, let's see if I can get the old hand starter here, because we can ignore the complete key switch thing up front and just roll the motor over. And I'll make sure I'm not in my face here when I do this. I want to get sprayed with red liquid. Got nothing. One click, and that's it. I just wonder if we got a starter that's not any good. We may have to pull that out. Could be all this awesome wiring that's going on here too. This positive side isn't awesome. Oh, here we go. Whoa, there goes some red stuff. Oh, all over me. We got a lot of mystery oil back out of it, that's for sure. All right, folks, as you saw there, some pretty good findings. We got great compression on this engine. It has 140 to 160 to 170, you know, because I had oil in there too, but I have a feeling there's no rings that are truly stuck. So it'll be nice to do a few heat cycles on that engine once I get it running, and then we'll recheck compression later on down the road for sure after it's been running a little while. Also took the carburetor off. We're gonna go through and do a complete rebuild on the carburetor in part 2. This is the conclusion of part 1. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned, more to come. We're gonna go through this carburetor. In the next video, we're gonna also do, we gotta check spark on this thing. We're gonna check the timing. Make sure all the plug wires are in the right order and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure they are. I might have crossed one of them up when I put it back on there, but we'll see. What else? We're gonna it's just gonna be cool. We're gonna, once this carburetor's back on there, then we verify the fuel pump will actually pump something. We won't be far from let's just fire it up and let it run. Let the big dog eat. I'm excited to hear this 6-cylinder run. Make sure it has no noise. Once I get it running good, we may pull that valve cover off. We may do some live while it's running valve adjustments just to make sure that's in good shape. Also got another thing to kind of show you to help you check the lifters and the cam and kind of see what kind of condition a few things are in that engine. So far, the engine, I've lucked out really big time. This engine seems to be pretty solid so far. It's clean on the outside. It also appears to be pretty clean on the inside. After I ran the mystery oil in there, one I didn't catch on camera, as I rolled it over a bunch in there, and then as you saw, I blew it out, sprayed oil all over the camera and everything else around it, made everything slippery, so I had to clean that up. But we ran the Borescope back down in there again, and everything looked cool and wet and, you know, just oily. It's awesome. So stay tuned. I hope this was informative and helpful. Follow this along if you guys are interested in doing your own 4-cylinder or 6-cylinder. The steps I'm taking right now is the steps I would take on every engine I bring into the yard, just for the simple reason it's the proper way to do it, and it's, you know, you're minimizing any damage to the engine whatsoever. The other thing I'm doing while I'm rolling it over is I'm actually, without spark or without any compression, because I got the spark plugs out, I'm also building up a little oil pressure. Hopefully the oil pickup's picking up and circulating some oil so that when we do put compression on it and try to run it, that the bearings and everything have some oil on them so we don't create any unusual wear there. So, well, this is Michael saying, if it ain't broke, fix it till it is. We'll see you on part 2. And plus, there again, in between this video and the next one, you're gonna see some outboard videos as well. So stay tuned for that. I got plenty of content coming. It's just how busy can I stay and how much can I get done in a short amount of time to keep this stuff coming to you. Let's just call it rapid fire. And I want to make good quality content. I'm not out there putting videos to put videos out there. I want to give you some good quality stuff. The feedback I've been getting on the channel and the comments that I see is that people are enjoying what they're seeing. They've learned a lot. You know, they've been able to fix their own stuff, which is awesome. And that's what we're all about here, is putting the power into other people's hands to fix their own outboards, or feel brave enough to go out and, you know, buy an outboard, go through it. Not every one of them's a winner. Trust me, I bought plenty of them here recently in the last 3 to 4 years, and they're not all winners. But you do get some diamonds in the rough. You do find some really good ones, and you find some really good fixer-uppers. It's more on the positive side than the negative side for a long shot, by a long ways, guaranteed. All right, this is Michael. I'm out. Treat each other with love, and we'll see you on the next video. I'm out. One more thing I wrote on my whiteboard over here, just so I didn't forget and I could commit myself to doing it, is that Mercruiser 165 we're working on, and the fact that we're gonna rehome it onto the old Starcraft Islander, so that's gonna get a bigger engine, and I'm gonna show you guys step by step. You're gonna follow me all the way through the process on how I'm gonna do it. It might be painful, but it's boat related and it's gonna happen right here. But I started on it July 9th. Now this will date code their video, but I don't care, that's fine. July 9th, I gave myself 30 calendar days to have that engine running, and today's already the 11th or 12th. So I've, you know, some couple more days have passed, but I gotta do this thing on evenings and weekends, folks. But my goal is have that engine started and running and pulled and installed on that Starcraft Islander by August 9th, because by the end of August, before the end of August, my goal is to get that Starcraft Islander in the water and give her a good old test run. Even if it's on the old trailer, I want to put the trailer that this Rinker is on under it, because it's a much better trailer, but I'll do whatever I need to do to get it in the water and actually see what the old 165 does on that. That's a big boat, but boat and trailer and engine as it sits right now is only 2,200 pounds. So it's not a heavy rig. It's an all aluminum boat. So for its physical size, the weight really isn't there. So that 165, but the water displacement and the buoyancy is. So that 165 horse Mercruiser will just live beautifully on the back of that boat. And maybe I could run instead of running a 17 or 19 pitch prop, I can actually run like a 21 pitch prop and have that thing hit its wide open throttle and give us some speeds well above 30 is the goal. It'll probably do above 30 now, but this will go well above 30. And it's so funny. This is funny, because when I buy boats like this, I asked that guy, I said, how fast did that boat go? Oh, that boat is fast. It was doing 45 plus miles an hour. I'm like, no, it wasn't. I know that engine, I know the wide open throttle, I know the prop you're running, and that prop wouldn't even allow you to go that fast. That prop wouldn't even let you go past 35. But it's funny, but a lot of people will guess because it feels fast on the water. But if you got your GPS app on your phone, that tells the true story, and that's what I go by. All right. That's all I had to add at the little end of this. Enjoy the drone footage here, and we'll see you on the next video again. Bye-bye.